Now let's meet the Week 8 nominees for your Friday Night Phenoms. We'll begin the countdown with how about guys that know a lot about winning on our list. Centerburg and Jack Gregory, the quarterback, had a phenomenal game, most notably in the second half. Hayden, I know that you were at this one, and sometimes Jack, he just needs a little bit of time to warm up, but once he gets it going, he's got a flamethrower for an arm. That left hand really was putting some throws on the money. Big time performance.
Yeah, he had a great night. There was a little bit of doubt. The first half was surprising to me. Kind of a slow start for Jack Gregory in the Centerburg offense. But then they really took off after halftime, made great adjustments, and Jack Gregory was still throwing passes. They weren't running the ball even with kind of a comfortable lead, trying to chew up time at the end. So they really trust him. He had a great night. 345 yards, 3 touchdowns. Solid performance for him.
How about Hayden Coon of the Crestview Cougars? Still undefeated on the season, and he was almost perfect. As you see that, he only missed 2 passes on the game, threw a couple of touchdowns, including this dime right here. Doesn't get much better than that. I mean, the Cougars, they got it cooking, and they married the run game with the pass game. Kuhn is awesome off of play action.
Yeah, Brian, Hayden Coon has been pretty much perfect all season long. He only has 1 turnover, and the big thing about him is he trusts his receivers, man. He's throwing BBs all over the yard to Smedley, over to Bailey, and, of course, Addison Raymer. So Hayden Coon has really been the engine that is driving this Crestview offense. Of course, Connor Morse doing it with him, but Hayden Coon was dominant against Plymouth, 12 of 14, 204, 26 rushing yards, and 2 touchdowns. So Hayden Coon can't get much better than that, and he's got a big test this weekend against St. Paul. Let's see if he can repeat his performance.
I just love how much poise he has in the pocket. He's a dynamic dude also when he gets out onto the edge, but you know, he can throw it pretty well deep. Hayden Coon, the total package. So is this guy. What a senior year right now for Peyton Lester. He leads the KMAC in passing yardage as well as passing touchdowns. Well, because he does stuff like this every single week. 9 of 12, so he only missed a couple of passes on the night. Also went for over 200 yards, but how about getting it into the end zone, into the hands of his playmakers 4 times, KMAC Trav.
And watch these throws. He trusts his wide receivers. He can throw it a little bit high, a little bit wide, but he knows his receivers will get it. And the most important stat of this, of the 9 completions, almost half of them went for touchdowns. 9 completions, 4 touchdowns. You know, they have that running game, but also the passing game. It helps opens up the run game, and Peyton Lester is the man for that offense at East Knox as they still remain in the top 4 in the region.
So are the Mansfield TY Tigers and Brock Hill. A lot of quarterbacks on the list this week. 7 of 14, so you don't really love that efficiency, but when he was completing passes, they went big, including this big toss right here. A couple of touchdowns, and then we know what we can do with his feet, too. He does it with both his arm and his legs every week, Hayden.
Yeah, another quarterback who only had 14 pass attempts on the night but was still able to throw for 185 yards and 3 touchdowns, so almost 50% of his passes as well went for touchdowns, 68 rush yards on the ground, and I think you're seeing what Brock Hill can do if he plays confident and just has fun playing the game.
And lastly, wow, all quarterbacks on the list this week, and Noah Clark probably had the most gaudy numbers, and they shredded the Shelby Whippets. 358 through the sky, 4 touchdowns as well. Total package, and a big win against a quality opponent, Storm.
Yeah, that was supposed to be a lot of people's game of the year, but West Holmes came out, did what they had to do, and got a huge win on the road at Skiles, and it was in big thanks to part to Noah Clark. I mean, when you can go 20 of 26 passing and have almost 400 yards, I mean, that's just incredible numbers from, a guy on a really good football team. And, it helps that he's got athletes that he can get the rock to, but I mean, just incredible numbers from Noah Clark.
But you see here, too, the pre-snap reads. He's moving some guys in motion, getting some different protections and different plays called. So Noah Clark, as a senior, really having a phenomenal season. Those are your nominees. You can vote online each week on all those different platforms.